What's going on, aviators? Welcome back. Welcome back to my new build. This is the RC Powers F-18 V5. Alright, for dimensions, this is a 27-inch by 36-inch aircraft. My build weight is 361 grams or 12 3/4 ounces. So build materials, this is built out of Dollar Tree foam or Adams Ready board. You get that at the dollar store. I use mostly hot glue to put everything together and epoxy for the motor mounts. The motor is a Quantum Pro BE 1806 2700 kV. The ESC is a Hobby King 20 amp UBEC. The propeller is a 5 by 4.5 3-blade propeller, and it has 4 Tower Pro 5-gram servos. All right, so let's talk about the build. The build went together pretty well. I was a little surprised by the size of it. I didn't read the dimensions before I built it, but as it was coming together, I realized it was a pretty small aircraft. The quality of the build went together pretty well. I did make a couple little mistakes. If you look under the fuselage here, you can see that, if I could get it in the right angle, in through the nacelles, the bottom part of the nacelles isn't flat, and that translates to the back with the vertical stabilizers being at a little bit more of an angle than they probably should be. The second mistake I made was with the fuselage itself, that when you look down the center of the fuselage, you'll notice that it's actually kind of has an angle to it where it should normally be straight up and down. One of the changes I'll make for the next build is to actually open up this edge right here out a little bit. I'm going to bring the nacelles in, and I'm actually going to glue them all together. And I'm also going to extend the center part of the nacelle to make it a little wider, and that'll help my angle with the nacelle that goes all the way down to the horizontal stabilizer. This build was put together with the Dollar Tree foam board, and this time I decided to build the whole thing with the paper left on, which created a little bit of a problem. Using the tape hinges, I actually had to cut down into the foam a little bit to get the paper off so I could tape down the hinges for the ailerons and the elevators. Also, as you can tell just by handling it, you start to get a little bit of peeling on the paper. One of the things that I did when I put the paper on for the decals is actually, this is all cut out of cardstock, as I glued it down and then I put another bead of glue right along the top, and that just smoothed that edge out. So either I have to glue this down or I have to run a piece of tape from the inside to the outside to the inside. Another change to the build that I was going to do is actually make this motor mount a little larger. Using the Dollar Tree foam board, it's only 4.5 mil as opposed to the 6 mil for Depron. So there's no continuity here between the motor mount and the fuselage. So if I make this a little larger or I make my fuselage hole a little smaller, they'll actually glue together and make the motor mount a little bit more rigid. It has a little bit of play in it right now, but it's not too bad. And also on landing, it won't be such a shock load. Another change I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the fuselage a little taller. I'm going to make it the same height as the nacelles and the motor mount, and this whole section will be pretty much glued together in one, making it super rigid on the inside. One change I did make on the inside was I didn't put the battery tray in, so the battery isn't aligned with the center of the wing plate. I took the battery tray out. Down the bottom you can see where the Velcro is for the battery mount, and I ran into my first problem as soon as I put the Velcro in. As I was pushing it down, the lower part of the fuselage separated from the wing plate. So to fix that, I put a bunch of hot glue on the side here and I smoothed it over, and that helps hold it together. But the next time, I think I'm going to have to put the tape in before I put it all together. One of the things I've started doing is putting the receiver up on a spare piece of foam just to get it out of the way, and it helps clean up all the wiring on the inside. Now that the build's done, I'm going to get it out and go flying. This is going to be a test bed for me. I left the KF2 airfoils off, put the servos on the top, trying to get the bottom of the wing plate nice and smooth and clean so the air isn't so disturbed. Once I get the KF2 on and I see if I like it or not, then I'll go ahead and I'll shape all the edges. Normally I sand down all the edges so they're nice and round, but I haven't done that with this build yet just because it's a test bed, and we're going to see how it goes with the paper and without the KFs and with the KFs. So we'll see you guys next time.